We're diving into the work of Mark Douglas, a true pioneer in trading psychology, to get to the bottom of one critical question. What truly separates the winning traders from everybody else?
So what is it? What's the biggest reason that something like 90% of traders just can't seem to make it work consistently? It's not about finding some secret strategy or a holy grail. Mark Douglas was convinced the answer lies somewhere much, much deeper. It's all inside the trader's own mind.
See, the real difference between success and failure isn't about being smarter, it's about your mindset. And to really understand this, we're going to follow the story of Mark Douglas himself, a guy who went from complete financial ruin to totally revolutionizing how we think about the markets.
So let's start at the beginning. Like so many people, Douglas jumped into his trading career back in the late 70s. And yeah, just like so many people, he fell into that classic trap, the cycle of winning big, feeling like a genius, and then giving it all right back.
I mean, his very first trade was in potato futures and he made money. He probably thought, wow, this is easy. Why didn't I start doing this years ago? But that feeling didn't last long. He blew up his first trading account, $20,000, gone. Then he blew up a second one, another $15,000, poof. And what did he do? He did what a lot of us do. He blamed someone else. It had to be his brokers, right? They were the problem. So he just kept searching for that secret he was so sure somebody else had.
And this hunt for a secret, it led him right into a single trade in silver that would define his entire life. It was a trade that went horribly wrong before it went spectacularly right. The only tragic part was he wasn't there for the good part.
Okay, so here's the setup. It's 1981. Douglas takes a pretty big position, long 10,000 ounces of silver. He's feeling confident, and then almost immediately, the market turns hard against him.
He's instantly down $2,000. Now, does his broker advise him to cut the loss and move on? Nope. Instead, he suggests this really complex spread strategy. All this did was lock in the loss and, well, conveniently for the broker, it generated a whole lot more in commissions.
Then the market starts whipping back and forth, up and down. And each time it moves, his broker's telling him to take the spread off, then put it back on, locking in another couple $1,000s in losses each time. The guy was just churning the account to death.
With every move, the pressure, both financial and emotional, was just building and building. He wasn't sleeping, the stress was becoming unbearable. Douglas was hitting his breaking point.
Finally, he just snapped. Totally overwhelmed by the stress, the fear of losing even more money, he calls his broker and just tells him, I just can't take this anymore. Get out of the whole damn thing. His only goal at that point was just to make the pain stop.
And what happens next is, well, it's the stuff of every trader's worst nightmare. Not even an hour after he got out, the silver market just explodes upwards in the exact direction of his original trade. It went limit up, which means the price shot up so fast that the exchange actually had to halt trading.
And the agony was really just getting started. For 30 straight days, 30, the price of silver just skyrocketed. And because it was a limit up move every single day, there was literally no one willing to sell. He had absolutely no way to get back into the trade.
So he was forced to just watch from the sidelines in total agony as the trade he exited out of pure fear became a potential $400,000 winner. Think about that. The only thing separating him from that win was one single decision driven entirely by fear.
Now, an experience like that would make most people quit for good, but for Douglas, it lit a fire under him. He left his six-figure job, moved to Chicago, and got a job at a top firm, Merrill Lynch. He was absolutely determined to finally learn the secrets of the pros. But what he found out was just shocking. The firm actively told its brokers not to trade their own money, and he was told point blank that their clients' accounts were considered terminal. The business model was literally to make them as comfortable as possible while they bled their accounts dry. It was an awful realization. He was completely on his own. The big secret was there were no secrets. Nobody he could find, not the brokers, not the floor traders, nobody really knew how to be consistently successful. And with an expensive lifestyle to keep up, the pressure mounted, pushing him right toward his worst financial fear.
And eventually, it happened. He ran out of money. Douglas was forced to file for bankruptcy, the very thing he thought would absolutely destroy him. It was the thing he feared most in the world. But in that moment of total loss,
something completely unexpected happened. He had faced his absolute worst fear, and he survived. He realized he was going to be okay, and in that moment, the fear itself just disappeared. Without that massive burden of fear, it was like a pair of blinders just came off. All of a sudden, he could see the market with total clarity. He was still allowed to trade for his clients, and he started executing trades with an ease he had never ever known, making them consistent money for the very first time.
This entire experience led him to his great breakthrough, the core insight of his whole career. The ultimate trading edge isn't a system. It's not a secret indicator. It is a state of mind. He realized that professional traders hadn't somehow eliminated risk. That's impossible. They had simply eliminated fear from their decision-making process. And trading without fear isn't some mystical gift. It's a learnable skill that lets you act without hesitating, and it closes that gap between what your strategy could make and what you actually make.
So how do you get there? Well, the process is pretty simple, but it's not easy. First, you have to see the market for what it is, an endless stream of opportunities, not threats. Second, you predefine your risk and you accept it completely before you enter a trade. Third, you just execute your plan, no hesitation, no second guessing. And finally, you accept the outcomes, win or lose, without emotional damage, because you know that losses are just a part of the business. Douglas basically concluded that almost all the common trading mistakes, you know the ones, hesitating on your entries, cutting your winners short, letting losers run wild, revenge trading, all of them come from one single root cause: fear. Fear of losing, fear of being wrong, and fear of missing out. So the crucial takeaway here is this: consistent success isn't something you find on a chart or in a newsfeed. It's something you have to cultivate inside your own mind. Mark Douglas's fear cost him $400,000 on a single trade. So the final question isn't just about what opportunities you might be missing.